Hey everybody, welcome to Bill Sky, this time the database guy. And what this playlist is going to be all about is setting up a database system on your own computer, designing a database, writing programs to access that data, process it any way you wish, storing it in another file, displaying it to the user. We're going to go through all of that. We're going to do all this in C++, Python, Java, PHP. We're going to hit on at least 4 different languages, and it's going to be an awful lot of fun. But first of all, what is a database? Now, I'm doing things a little bit different in this series simply because databases are such a nebulous term. People use the term database just to say it's a file. Well, actually, what is a database? So a database is actually, you normally, for an enterprise level database, and by enterprise I mean large company database, one that they charge for, one that actually can do productive work, you have what we call a database management system. And this database management system is actually a program that runs on top of the operating system. And the size of these boxes mean absolutely nothing. Your operating system is almost always larger than the database management system. And the database management system talks to the operating system talks to it, and the operating system also has to deal with a thing called the file system. And the file system is a driver or is a set of programs that are part of the operating system that store and retrieve data off of your storage devices, like a hard drive, USB thumb drive, an SSD, a tape drive, an optical drive, just about anything. So the database management system manages the data that it stores for whatever reason. Let's talk about that. What is a database used for? Well, a database is used for efficiently and logically and in an organized way containing data that's been organized in, let's say, categories or tables or schemas. We're going to see all of that. And it allows for quick retrieval of that data. It allows for fast inserting, backing up. It manages everything. It manages security. It manages who has access to what data, what part of the data do you have access to. Like, for instance, you might have an employee database, or you might have an employee, what we call table, and that employee table has information in it that is confidential to the employee, like their birth date, their sexual orientation, their medical history maybe, and that information is hidden from everybody except human resources. Even their management cannot see their medical history. So the database management system can hide things from one person and as opposed to another person. The employee would be able to see everything about their information in that database. Possibly, maybe not, notes that managers make, like they were found smoking pot or drinking alcohol in the break room. So that type of thing. But the whole cool thing about database management systems is that you're able to manage every aspect of data about a certain subject. Now, what are we going to do in this course? Well, what you're going to have is you're going to have a program that you're going to write, and that program, as I said, can be any one of multiple languages. Like I said, we're going to do C, C++, we're going to do Python, we're going to do Java, we're even going to do PHP. And you don't have to have any knowledge of these languages because we're going to do this playlist, this course, in such a way that it doesn't matter if you understand any of that programming. We're going to actually walk you through it. That program is then going to communicate with the database management system using a thing called an API. An API is what we call an application programmer's interface. Now, some database management systems, like the one we're going to use, MySQL, this is also called the connector. And the connector allows you to connect to the database management system, and then the database management system responds to your queries. And that API then talks to the database management system. So one of the most important things that we have to do, which is going to be the very next video, is how to set up your database management system, your API, your development tools, everything you need to be able to do this on your own computer. And we're going to do this on Windows, we're going to do this on Linux, and we're going to do this on a Mac. Now, what I really recommend, and I will put links in the description of this video so you can get to those videos. What I really recommend is that you do everything in Linux. Now, there's a couple of reasons for that. The number one reason is Linux is probably the most used server database operating system on the planet. If I'm going to create my own database server farm where I'm going to have all these databases supporting people like Amazon Web Services, I'm going to do everything in Linux. Windows it's popular for end users, people that are not, and I don't mean this rude. It's arguable. I'm going to get a lot of hassle for this, but it's for not as sophisticated, possibly server development. I'm definitely wrong when it comes to that. When it comes to Windows shops, all they're ever doing is Windows. But when you're talking about large capacity data, if you look at Google, if you look at Amazon Web Services, they're all using Linux or Unix of some type. And there's many, many reasons for that. The other thing that you can do is if you're on Windows, if you're on a Mac, and you want to run Linux, and you're going to see how much easier it is to do this all on Linux, you can do it in a virtualization environment, and I'm actually going to put links in the video to show you how to do that. So before I start getting all kinds of bad mail from Windows developers and Windows database administrators, we are going to do Windows. I'm going to show you how to do Windows. We're not going to do Microsoft SQL Server because that's going to cost you money to get it. So we're just going to use MySQL, and Windows SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server is fine for that. Now, if you're on a Mac, you're definitely want to do some virtualization. I believe we're also going to be able to do MySQL as well, all the programming interfaces on a Mac. However, you're going to see just how much of a pain in the neck it is to do on Xcode, but I'm going to walk you through all that. So that's kind of the general overview of what a database management system is. What are the areas that we're going to mess with? We're going to mess with programs. We're going to write those programs. We may even go directly into the database management system. In fact, I know we are. And we're going to do some management stuff. So I'm going to show you how to manage the database management system, how to give people access. In fact, during the installation of MySQL, you have to do that. All right, so let's get started. The next video is going to be setting everything up on Windows. Then I'm going to show you how to set everything up on Linux, and then how to set everything up on Mac. Hope to see you at the next video.